Hi, Laura.
Hi. I was trying to get my internet to work in the room and it wasn't. So, little Miss and I are on the phone.
Oh, nice.
So I
Aw.
apologize for our background not being so great, but
Oh, that's okay. How's it going down there?
good. So good. She slept really well last night, so I felt human today and
Yeah,
uh, finally got a manicure. We just got back from a Jeep excursion, so it's been a fun day. It's been good.
that's awesome. I saw Krista's post with the pink Jeep.
Yes, it was really fun. It was something different. Are you
That's so
smiling at
awesome.
everybody?
Hi, sweet pea. You guys excited to come down here?
Oh, we're so excited to, yes, we can't wait. Our kids' countdown to Oregon is on. We can't wait to be in Bend.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Your parents don't live here, right? They're in California?
Nope. Yep, they're in California.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're just going to go ahead and get started. So it is 6 and we're recording, and I am so excited for these calls. You guys get to hear from two incredible leaders from our team tonight, Stephanie and Jamie, and they are both executives on our team and both have very different stories. And I know we're going to be able to learn a lot from them. So we're going to start out by hearing from Stephanie. So Stephanie, take it away and tell us more about you and your story.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. Thank you guys so much for hopping on tonight. Just to share a little bit about myself, I am 32 years old. I am married to my husband, Matt, and we have two boys, one that's 11 and one that's 2.5. So quite the spread there. And we live in Bend, Oregon. And pretty much before Isagenix, I mean, you guys should know that I have really been through it all with my body. I have been through periods of time. Oh, I have this really crazy hair here. Sorry. I've been through periods of time where I was extremely thin. But along with that, I was also very depressed. I was pretty underweight. I've also been average size for most of my life, but along with that, I was pretty bloated and I didn't have the nutrition that I needed. And I've also been very overweight as well, which came along with my pregnancies. And, during those times I've been super low energy. So I really have been on all ends of the spectrum with my own personal health journey. And at the time I was actually introduced to the products, I had just had our second son. He was 3 months old at the time. And in all reality, I had a pretty extreme fear that I would never get my body back and that I was bound to be overweight for the rest of my life, and just kind of thinking, well, once you have your second kid, you're kind of screwed, and just kind of going along with that whole mentality. And it kind of freaked me out, honestly. I was hungry all the time. I didn't have any energy. I was just a tired mom, really. And the most important thing at that point in my life is that I felt like I was really lacking purpose. There was nothing really that I was like super excited about. And like looking back, it kind of, it's just kind of a weird time, And basically I was introduced to the products by my sister, Melissa. And honestly, at the time, I knew nothing about the products. I had never heard of Isagenix. I didn't know what it was. She just said, you can do this while you're nursing. It'll help you lose the weight. Do it with me. And I was like, okay. So I gave her my credit card and didn't really ask any questions. I just trusted it. And I'm kind of, I always do things spontaneously anyway. So I just went with it. But really what made me want to keep going once I started using the products and once I started learning more about what they could offer me and what they could do for me is it was the convenience. Honestly, like my entire life, I've been horrid in the kitchen. I do not cook. I don't know anything about it. And because of that, throughout my life, my health has really suffered because either I would go through bouts of like not eating. If I didn't have convenient food, I just wouldn't eat. Or I would do the opposite and make just completely unhealthy choices, like with fast food and like ready-made freezer meals and stuff like that. So I was like, wow, I can use these shakes. They're really good for me. And they support this like horrid lack of kitchen skills that I have. So honestly, like as the business came into play, like we had no idea that there was even a business. Like I said, we didn't even know anything about Isagenix. And honestly, when we did learn that it was network marketing, we were really turned off. We were like, no way. Like, we're not doing that. But really what ended up happening is we kept watching, and we kept seeing people in our lives having real results on the business side, not only with the products, but with the business. And we soon figured out that it was a real opportunity, and we would be silly, not to look further into it. So about 8 months into our products, we went to our very first Core 4 event, which was ICU. And at that time, walking into ICU, we were managers. And our minds were blown by all this amazing information, and it really just poured belief into us. And, seeing all the people walking across that stage, we just knew, we were like, these people are just normal people just like us. Like, if they can do it, we can totally do this. And that event just really lit a fire inside of us. And we left ICU as managers, and 1 week later, we were executive 2-star Golden Circle. And it doesn't work out that way for everyone. Things just really fell into place for us. But I think that that's a good testament to what this opportunity can really offer for people. And we just really had a will to make it happen. We were willing to do, whatever it took to hit that executive rank. And we knew that we were just as capable and we were just as deserving as all the other people before us. And that was like a huge motivator for us. So what this opportunity has really done for us, the first thing that really comes to my mind, as we have been on so many trips because of Isagenix, it's really been such a blessing. We've been sent all over the country. We've been to Mexico a couple times because of the income opportunity with Isagenix. And that travel really means a lot, especially to me, because growing up, my sister and I, we come from a very low income family. And I have a lot of negativity surrounding vacations. Like, we never really took them. And when we did, there was so much, I don't know, just stress about the cost. And, I almost always held this guilt that, when we got back from our trip, our parents were like in debt because of it. And, having to like take time off of work and everything else. And so that travel, like I said, just really, really means a lot to me to be able to provide that experience, for our kids. And, without that same guilt attached, and then also for me and my husband as well. We're in the middle of a pretty exciting remodel on our house, and that would never be possible without our Isagenix income. We've always dreamed of being able to make our house exactly what we want it to be, but without that extra income coming in, that would have never been a real possibility for us. So we feel extremely blessed on that front. And really, it's given us the cushion to not worry about unexpected expenses. I don't sit and stress like, oh, what if something happens? We know that everything will work out and everything will be okay because of that Isagenix income. And most importantly, it's given us the freedom to really create so many memories for our kids, now and for many years to come. I mean, this is a legacy company, And, you know, we have every intention of sticking it out for the long haul. And we know that it's going to really provide so much for us and our kids long term. So I wanted to leave you guys with just a couple tips that Matt and I came up with. Our top 2 tips for really being successful in this business. And the first one is to live out loud. And many of you have probably heard that before, but really to me, like that can be taken like both in real life. I mean, you need to be willing to talk to people, which is a skill that I've had to like kind of relearn over the past couple of years since Isagenix. But really just don't be, you know, afraid to say what you're doing and the blessings that Isagenix have brought into your life. I think that that's, you know, so important, but especially on social media, people want to see what you're doing every day. I mean, that's why people get on social media, is because they want to see. So just really be willing to commit, you know, to those few posts a day and just show people what you're doing and have a really positive attitude. And I would also like to suggest like making sure to use your posts to pique people's interest. That's the biggest thing. And to not, you know, shove like salesy posts down people's throats, because that's the fastest way to like get people to be like, what the heck? No way. Like, what are you doing? I don't want a part of that. But just like really, you know, doing like product placement in your posts and stuff like that. And like, you know, if you're going on a walk with your kid in the stroller, just having your shaker cup in the stroller, but not talking about the shaker cup. You know what I mean? So anyway, live out loud on social media and in real life. And the next tip is get as many no's as you can, because every no gets you one step closer to a yes. And in the beginning, this was a really tough concept for Matt and I to grasp onto, because in the beginning you're like, people don't like me, like I'm not good at this, you know, every time someone shut you down or whatever. But that has been a huge mental shift for us over the past several months, is understanding that each of those no's is one step closer to a yes. And as we know, only about 1 or 2 out of every 10 people that we talk to is going to say yes. So really just be keeping that in mind as you proceed further in this business. It'll really help be a big mental shift for you. So that's all.
Thank you so much. It's so fun to hear your story. I totally forget how much everything shifted for you after you went to that event. And I love being reminded of that. And thank you for being real about how you felt. I think most people walk around feeling like that's their normal. And I'm just so excited for you and all that's happening. And thank you for sharing, Stephanie.
Yeah,
and those are great tips. I hope you guys, those of you that are listening now and those of you that are to listen in the future, write those down, because everything she said is spot on. So thank you.
Yeah.
I am excited now to welcome Jamie to the call. Jamie is one of our newer executives, and I'm excited to hear more about your story, Jamie. So go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so I started Isagenix about 10 months ago. So just a little background on my story. So I have lots of roles that I play on a daily basis. I literally feel like I put one hat on and then take off one, and I have to switch gears. So I am a wife of 9 years. So Ryan is my husband, and he is at work tonight. So he works night shift 3 nights a week. He is a nurse. I am a nurse practitioner, so I work full-time and still continue to work full-time. And I'm not one of those people that hopes to not work as a nurse practitioner. And I think that's important, because that's what makes Isagenix so cool, is that this can fit into lots of different people's desires. So I am a pediatric nurse practitioner and I work at the hospital 40 hours a week. I do hope in the future to go down to 2 or 3 days a week instead of having to work full time. So that is definitely in the plan. I'm a mom of 2 kiddos. So I have a 6-year-old little boy, and that's my biological child. And then we are foster parents for our county here in North Carolina. I didn't say that. I'm in North Carolina, or just outside of Chapel Hill. Go Tar Heels. And I have a foster daughter who is 4, and she's been with us since March. So if you kind of back up to 2016 was completely crazy in my family. So my husband had finished nursing school. That's a second career for him. I'm 30. We're both 34. It was a second career for him. So he finished nursing school and was working days and nights. So flipping back and forth, which is enough to make a whole household not know what day of the week it is. But we were doing it. We moved in March of 2016, and we're taking our foster care classes because we just really felt called to, we haven't been able to have more children, and there's not really a reason that anybody can tell us besides we're very religious. And so, the Lord is just telling us what we're supposed to be doing. And we were called to foster care. So we became foster parents. So then we moved, and then Ryan started doing night shift all the time so we could at least have some consistency. And we sent Jackson to kindergarten, all within like 6 months. And so life was crazy. I literally felt like I was in a circus and I was a clown, and I had like all the balls like up in the air, and I was like, I'm going to catch it, I'm going to catch it, I'm going to catch it. And like, that's how I was living. Trying to eat healthy, trying to, not do just convenience food, right? So from there, I got a call from Nicolette, my best friend from high school, and she's a PA, and she had been, I knew she'd been researching weight loss companies and, wanted more energy, and her children don't sleep, like they don't sleep. So when she calls me one night in August, and she's like, you have to do this with me. And it was the confidence in her voice that she was like, no, really, like, you have to do this with me. I'm gonna need your credit card, and Ryan needs to do it too. And I was like, why not? I have enough balls up in the air. Sounds good. I need more energy, and I would love to lose the 10 pounds of baby weight because I'm sending him to kindergarten, for crying out loud. So we jumped in and had zero thought process behind any sort of business part to this company. But we trusted Nicolette, and we trusted the confidence in her voice. And so we sent Jackson to kindergarten, and then here we go, starting Isagenix. Well, my husband, of course, loses weight like way faster. Men just lose it faster than women, right? And so it was like motivation to keep going. And so from there, we decided that we were going to go to, we had planned to go to NYKO. And so leading up to that, I was like, wow, I really want this trip paid for. I want my products paid for, and I want this trip paid for. And so we just started sharing with people. People were asking us, hey, what are you doing? Like, are those new pants? Or just crazy things where I would have the Isagenix, cup, and I would be out and about, and people would ask me, hey, what are you doing? Oh, do you do Isagenix? Or, oh, that shake smells really good. When chocolate mint came out, whoa, that sold itself. So from there, we decided we were going to see if we could get our products paid for and then get NYKO paid for, because our leaders, Heather Martin and Nicolette, both were like, you guys got to get to an event. And so we trusted, and that's one thing that Laura has said on multiple calls, like, get your teams to events. Like, they need to catch the vision. So we went to NYKO, and sitting there, just like Stephanie said, you watch these people up on stage and you're like, I can do this. There's no reason that I can't do this. And so we came back fired up, and I posted my first live in the airport of the Raleigh-Durham airport, and was like, hey, this is crazy. Y'all been asking what we're doing. Come join me. Not in those words, because I wasn't like coming across like, I'm not a salesperson. I'm a nurse practitioner, and I don't know anything about network marketing until this opportunity has come about. So we decided to run for executive in January. And so here we go, we're running, and we barely don't make it. Okay. So we fail forward, and that's something that, go for no, and, fail forward, those, things that we hear on all these podcasts and things, just, you have to keep going forward. And so when we didn't make it, that race at that advancement week that our team was doing, I was determined that it was going to happen the next time. And so we ran for executive in February, and it came down to the wire. We have one of those stories that it came down to the wire, and it was my sister-in-law who I called, and I was like, okay, Aunt Becca, I need you. I need your social. I need your credit card. I want you to do this with me. I need one more person. And that's how we hit Crystal Executive. And it was so awesome to just catch that vision of, wow, we can do this. This is awesome. And from there, it just has kept us going with events. We've gone to Super Saturdays and the race to executive. I brought my note cards, my sticky notes down. So I got different color sticky notes, and they meant different things at the time. And I like posted them up on a wall. And that's how I like visually saw where my people were and who needed to be where and how I was going to get there. Like, it was constant vision of the goal that I was going for. All the while, still, working full time and being a mom to Jackson, and, having a husband that works night shift. So all of that happened in February, and we got a call for our foster daughter the first part of March. And so I truly, truly believe that we hit Crystal Executive in the right time. And then that residual income has blessed our family to take on another full human being in our family. And we haven't skipped a beat. So our products have been paid for since the second month, which, again, y'all, we didn't have any intention of selling Isagenix, of telling people about Isagenix. People started asking us. The circus that I was in and all the balls that were up in the air, about 1 month into Isagenix, and it's the Ionix, which I am drinking right now, I felt like the chaos had settled, that all the balls were just floating in the air instead of like me throwing them up there and catching them. So that's the analogy that I use with people when they're like, gosh, you've got a lot going on. Like, what in the world? How do you do this? Like, well, this nutrition is so good for you. That's how I do it. I feel great. And that's how I do it. So the business part and the compensation for this company has just blessed our family. We're paying off credit card debt in 2017. So by December, we've already got one card down. We have one more that we're really looking at. That was our moving expenses. And then nursing school loans are next. And it doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. So some of the things that I wrote down for tips for those of you who are really looking for tips is, the first thing is definitely to carve out time. So when you work full time, or if whether you're a stay-at-home mom, because Lord knows being a stay-at-home mom, the kids are busy and life is busy. And so I carved out time in my Google Calendar and I blocked it. And it says ISA business in my calendar, and it comes up, and I do it every night that my husband is working, just to get those 3 nights definitely in. And then one day a week, I work four 10-hour shifts at the hospital. And so one day a week during the week I have off, and I take the kids to school. I've recently joined a gym, so I try to do a class, and then I go to the local coffee shop and carve out some business time for that. So that's important, to just be consistent and carve out your time, because time will get away from you. The second thing that I tell my business builders on my team is to walk the walk, like be an example of the product. So don't be afraid. Like, I blend my shake in the newborn nursery where I work on purpose. I don't do it in my office. I do it where people could potentially ask, or if they're not asking, they're watching. And so, I took a shaker cup. I texted my team the other day. I took my cup in. I hadn't finished my shake yet, to the eye doctor. And, I go in and, it's a habit now that I just have my stuff with me, my ISA cup. And the lady at the desk was like, oh my gosh, what is that? What do you do? And it started this whole conversation. I gave her my business card, and, she, joined a few weeks later. It wasn't immediate, but a few weeks later. So I hope that helps. From a working mom and, you know, many hats that we wear, you really can do this business in the pockets of your time, and, you know, just trying to help your people. When you get somebody signed up, have it be a goal that by the time their second month is ready to auto ship, that they have found 2 people. And so you're making consultants. So I hope that helps.
That was awesome. And what I love is hearing both. Well, I've never heard your story before, so it was so fun to hear it. But being able to hear from both of you on just how much the financial side has blessed you guys, and these tips, guys, these tips are huge. So thank you so much, Jamie, for sharing, and for Stephanie for sharing. And I love hearing everything from I know Stephanie, I've got to travel with Stephanie, so we've got to go on some fun trips together, and hearing what Jamie's been able to do for her foster daughter. I mean, it's so inspiring. So I hope that all of you listening, and those of you who listen in the future, take away that whatever your dreams and whatever you want this to do for your life, I mean, it can happen. So cheering you guys on. So grateful to have you on this journey with us, and can't wait to hear from more executives next Tuesday. So have a great day, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, you guys.
Bye.